This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 588.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster.
Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Philby, host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have a couple next weekend. We have WordCamp Europe, which is awesome. It's in Basel, Switzerland. And last year was in Italy, in Torino. It was fantastic. I got to go. This year, there's a 10% chance that I'm going to go. 10, maybe 8.5%, 9%. Anyway, I mean, getting there is pretty easy with my benefits, but staying somewhere this time, kind of pricey. So this episode drops the Monday before the WordCamp comes out. So if someone has an extra room or wants to sponsor me, let me know. I can fly out. All right. So that's WordCamp Europe in Basel, Switzerland. Looks to be an amazing event. Also, there is an event called Alt-Control.org. It's a side event at WordCamp Europe as well. It's Friday evening. I guess camp starts on, this is the 6th. So I think the camp starts on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, etc. So there's one there as well. Link in the show notes to that. So that's kind of cool. A little side event as well. So pretty cool. I think that's it for upcoming events. Yeah, that's it. All right, moving on to segment 1 in the news. A couple things here to talk about. First and foremost, happy birthday to WordPress. 22 years old now. It's crazy. That was just last week. And there were a whole bunch of tweets and X's and shares online, photos of people wearing their original shirts or first camp they went to or the 10-year anniversary shirt. And I remember where I was at the 10-year. I was actually in Orange County. There was a big party that Steve Zankit put on at his old space that they used to have. Pretty cool. They had a piñata and we had giveaways. It was a lot of fun. That's crazy. But it's been 22 years old now, so that's pretty cool. Also in the news is there's an announcement of the formation of the WordPress AI team, which is kind of neat. There's a link in the show notes on this over at wordpress.org/news, why it matters, what to expect, some focus about AI, shared innovation, and rapid iteration as well. The team currently is James LePage at Automatic, Felix Arntz at Google, Pascal Birchler at Google, and Jeff Paul from 10up. So it's pretty cool. Congratulations on that. And that is it, I think, in the news. Yeah, all right, moving on. Segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's episode. This week, I'm talking about news. Well, newsletters, specifically email newsletters. Why, you may ask? It's because the reason is I've noticed a resurgence of the platform, of the product itself, i.e., I've been hearing more about them, seeing more of them on my landing, in my social media feeds, as well as in my inbox, and also hearing about newsletters and email newsletters on different podcasts. So, with that, I'm going to break this down into about 4 sections, starting with the actual resurgence of it. Because while newsletters never fully disappeared, their purpose and presentation have definitely leveled up. I remember that they used to be plain text updates from the early 2000s. Yeah, that was a weird, if not a terrible experience, just not very good. Luckily for us, those are gone. Now we have sleek, very well-designed newsletters, feel much more personal and like an actual publication. So why the comeback? Well, first, 2 reasons here. First and foremost, creators and small businesses are very tired, I know I am, relying on social platforms that change the algorithm every week. Okay, email, it's direct, it lands in the inbox. Simple as that. Second, tools have changed a lot. Tools like Substack, Beehive, those are relatively, well, Substack's not that new. Beehive's newer. ConvertKit, MailerLite, OmniSend have all lowered the barrier to entry. I mean, of course, there's been Aweber, there was MailChimp, there is MailChimp. There's been so many of them. And ConvertKit, by the way, full disclosure, is now called Kit. I believe they changed their name. Anyway, so a lot has changed on that. The tools are that much easier and better for the most part. You don't need to be a designer or a copywriter to start one. In a way, newsletters are becoming what people might call blog 2.0. I think it might be blogging 3.0, a much more personal, more consistent, and often more profitable way of getting people's attention. People crave content that feels like it's from a real human, not a feed. And newsletters, email newsletters, do that really well. So that leads me to the second topic here, the area why they work in 2025. Email is still the undisputed king when it comes to ROI. It's personal, like I said before. It's permission-based because someone gave you permission to email them, and it gets read more often than not. If your content is extremely niche and relevant, even more so. People really want curated content right now. They're tired of scrolling endlessly and missing things in the noisy feed, what we also call doom scrolling. I do it. I know a lot of people do it. I'm working on changing that habit. Newsletters also give you the chance to build trust, provide value, create a consistent voice. Whether you're rounding up industry news, sharing behind the scenes updates, offering helpful tips, the newsletter keeps you top of mind. And no, it doesn't have to be weekly. I mean, I recommend not necessarily weekly, start monthly, just be consistent. And don't worry about big numbers. People are like, I only have 5 people reading it. Well, that's fine. Start somewhere because that's the key, is just to start. Think of a newsletter like a dinner party with your biggest fans. They showed up for you, so talk to them like you would a friend. That simple. Keep it really simple, really basic to start. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, this is number 3, you're probably using WordPress or have a lot of knowledge of it or have used it, which makes getting started all that much easier. There are plenty of tools to choose from, even internally within WordPress. There's one called MailPoet. Used to be a separate company. It got acquired by Automatic many years ago. But it lets you run your newsletter within your dashboard. It's really simple. It's easy that way. No third-party API connections, etc. If you are using third-party providers like ConvertKit or MailerLite, there's plugins to connect to sign-up forms, tag subscribers, even send welcome custom emails. Again, very simple to do these things. Now, if you want to also publish your newsletter as a blog post, another plugin would be like Newsletter Glue. Let you do that with a click. You can gate content, members-only newsletters, or paid access. Having WordPress as the hub of this gives you full control. Your list, your branding, your rules. The best part, you're not beholden anymore to anyone else's platform. For example, if and when a social media platform goes offline, so does your audience. Simple as that. If Twitter/X goes away forever, that's a pipe dream. Well, okay, it's a train wreck there. It's a dumpster fire, but I digress. When something changes, the platform changes, your newsletter audience is there. If it's there on that platform, that's a problem. If you own that engagement, then you still own that engagement. Doesn't matter what the other platform is. You are in charge of getting them information into their inboxes without any questions. So, kind of wrapping this up a little bit here. Should you start one? Well, short answer, probably. If you've got a point of view, a service, or even just something helpful to share, a newsletter can help you build and engage your community. Freelancers can show off their work. Agencies can keep leads warm. Podcasters like myself and bloggers can drive traffic back to the content. I really need to get my newsletter going again. And we'll get to that in a second. Even product creators can use newsletters to tell the story behind what they're building. Don't overthink the format here. It doesn't have to be fancy. Start by emailing 5 people you know and grow from there. What to write? Share your process, share links, share lessons. The biggest tip, write like you talk, keep it useful, personal, and or both. People don't want perfection, they want something real. So if you've been on the fence, this is the sign. I'm giving you permission just to start sending something out. Okay, now with that, I would love to hear if you have a newsletter you want to share, you want me to share it for you, I'm more than willing and happy to do that as well. I want to get some more content out myself. That leads me to segment 3, tip and tool of the week. I'm going to mention my 2 newsletters. I have 2 of them. One is runadam.run. It's about, it's not about anything at the moment. I have a website, but I want to get that newsletter going more, which will then lead to other things as well. And also, of course, I have sillylittlegoals.com. That's weekly. It's been going on for a year and a half, and I really like doing that. I'm trying to grow that as well. So as a favor, go sign up for those. Runadam.run.com, Silly Little Goals. I'm working on another one, which I'll mention when it's ready to go. I think in a week or 2, I have a coming soon page for a new site in the running space if that interests you at all. But again, those are the tips and tools. The tip of the week is, my 2 newsletters. And I actually do have one under adamsilver.com. And again, I have let it languish at best. So you can check it out if you want. All right, that's it for this week. I'm going to wrap it up. If you have any questions, send it to me at adam@KitchensinkWP.com. SpeakPipe functions on the website. Use that. If you want to hear your voice sometime in the future, you can support the show, become a Patreon, or you can buy me a coffee. You can sponsor the show, fill out the form. I'll get right back to you. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right, bye-bye.